I'm in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, at the site of the most deadliest bombing of domestic terrorism in the United States on April 19th, 1995. 168 lives perished, including 19 children. Now, this has a special connection to me, being that I'm from New York. And I'll tell you two reasons personally from my CBS career. When I first started at CBS in 1993, it took me a year to really get up to speed with all of the equipment. And then the bombing occurred in in that April, and I was less than a year working, but I was proficient enough to do editing that we were on 24 hours because of this bombing. It hadn't happened anything like this before, and it was really, really a major, major news story. At that time, I had to cut what we call teasers, which are just small little video clips prior to the story that's coming up. So you'd have to extract the material, you'd beg an editor to get a little bit so you can use them while they're yelling at you that they're busy cutting, rushing to get it on, but you still got to tell people that it's coming up. So we call those teasers. And I did that really, really well covering that, and it actually helped me move up in my career. Nevertheless, and I've been here before in 2005, so being here again, it's still just as touching, a little bit different, but here's what happened. My career continued at CBS, I became the director of news operations, and 2 weeks after my promotion in August, September 11th came of 2001, and what did we have? We had the deadliest act of domestic terrorism by international terrorists. So it's just terrorism, another terrorism act where we lost both Twin Towers, the World Trade Center, and the Pentagon, and that fourth plane out in Pennsylvania. So these two areas have that connection, and that being when I first started my career, and then second, having only been 2 weeks as the manager, it was a bit of a baptism by fire to have that coverage where we had 24 hours of news coverage on the air for 2 weeks without a commercial break, because we were the only major network television station, WCBS-TV, the flagship of CBS Network, that was on the air because we had dual antenna. We had an antenna on the Empire State Building. Most stations, almost all stations, had them only on the World Trade Center, and they went down. So people who were outside or didn't have cable and stuff and were on there, they all turned to Channel 2, and for at least 2 weeks, they were tuned in to get the news about what was happening in New York. It was a very, very dark time where the whole country went down. We didn't know because it felt like a full attack, being that it was New York and Washington. But being on our road trip back from the eclipse, heading back to southern Illinois to New York, I had to stop here and do this. Though I'd been here once before, I had to stop and report this because it has a sentimental value to me, being a New Yorker.